It's your boy Jose from Big Meat Sports. How are you guys doing on this lovely week? Yes, yes, the season is over for the Dallas Cowboys. Bittersweet ending. Wish it would have ended a lot better than the results that we got. On this podcast, I'm just going to talk about that game, how heartbreaking it is, how I've been dealing with this as a Cowboys fan for almost 25 plus years. And yeah, it's really hard. I think last year's exit to the 49ers was a little bit harsher, a little bit harder to swallow than this year's. This year's there wasn't that much expectation because of what we had at the beginning of the year, but there's some promise after that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. Kind of thought differently about this team once they won that game and how they destroyed the Bucks. Thought they really had a chance, and they did have a chance during this game. Um, but it's very disappointing. And I'll come out to say it right first and foremost. Yes, I've been a Dak supporter throughout his career. But yeah, Dak Prescott did cost us this game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Um, I still do think that he's a good quarterback. Just needs to go into the offseason and learn how to read defenses. Um, I don't know how you do that with Kellen Moore. I do think that this little Kellen Moore Dak relationship should break up. And the reason why I say that is because Dak has only been with basically, Kellen Moore most of his career. Um, but as you've seen with, in the past, he hasn't really progressed on, you know, reading defenses. And I do think it's a change and to get rid of Kellen Moore. Now, is Kellen Moore going to get hired? Hopefully he does get hired because that'll be one less stress factor uh, on Jerry Jones because Jerry Jones likes to keep his boys for a long period of time until it's like the end. The end is near. But I do think that it's time to get rid of Kellen Moore. The fans been asking for it. You can see it on some of his concepts. When he's in his bag, he is in his bag. But there are times where defenses and great defenses, like the 49ers have a great defense, they know how to play you. Um, and I didn't see any really adjustments. I didn't see, you know, when Tolly Pollard went down, we stopped running basically the whole game. Malik Davis is just as explosive running back, not as good as Tony Pollard, but he's faster than Zeke. And we saw that he didn't even give him no touches. And that's a problem for me. Because we always want to put it on Dak's shoulders, but what got Dak successful back in his rookie year and so on and so forth, it's a running game. Now, Zeke has been declining every single year, and it sucks. It really sucks that Tony Pollard went out. I think that we had this game. You can see it. You can see the aggressiveness when Tony Pollard was in there. And right after Tony Pollard got injured, there goes that second interception, which was a costly one. And don't get me into the 49ers and their tackling because I think their tackling is to come down on people's legs any ways necessary. You know, I think that's just like a dirty tackle. I've seen it in the past with other teams. With Dalton Schultz got injured earlier in the season with that kind of a tackle, and it sucks that he fractured his fibia and high ankle sprain. It's going to be an interesting offseason for him because you're trying to figure out, are you going to stick with Tony Pollard? Are you going to go in the draft? Um, Zeke's saying he's going to take a pay cut for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not sure, but look, going back to this game, there's some missed opportunities in this game. First and foremost, I would say it right now that this defense played a hell of a game. A hell of a game. I didn't think that they were going to keep this high powered San Francisco 49ers offense with all the weapons that they do have. I didn't think that this Dallas Cowboys defense can hold them to only scoring one touchdown. And only scoring one touchdown, and that could have been prevented if Trayvon Diggs catches that interception. I mean, Anthony Barr jumps into the passing lane, hits off his helmet, goes right to Trayvon Diggs, and he drops the interception. He drops that interception, they don't get 7 points. Still a tie game. There's just a lot of missed opportunities. Dak throwing that first interception, which I don't know what he saw. I mean, maybe some people say Gallup ran the wrong route. He wasn't aggressive, but he had the check down right there to Zeke, and he didn't take care of it. He didn't take it. So through an interception, that's 3 points right there. Then right before the half, right after the Tony Pollard injury, he then throws another one into coverage. I don't know what he saw. And I just don't get it because it was 2nd and 2. And this is where I think, that's why I want to move on to Kellen Moore. It was 2nd and 2, probably I forgot how many minutes. It was like a minute and change left until halftime. Why don't you run the ball? Why don't you run the ball and chew up some clock? But they don't. I know that, right after the Tony Pollard play, the injury comes. Well, right after the Tony Pollard injury, the interception comes, and it's like then it went all downhill from there. I felt like this team was driving. They were playing good in the first half, but it's just some of these play calling. It really hurts me. And again, I'm not giving an excuse because Dak did cost us a game, but Kellen Moore went away from the run way, way, way too quickly. Way too quickly. Um, but it does hurt, man. The Cowboys have some uh a lot of stuff to do in off season. They got some contracts that we got a lot of contracts that are going to be up on who you're going to keep, who you're going to let go. Um, what are you going to get in the draft? Or are you going to get somebody in free agency? And as you see, the teams that are spending money, they're the ones that are basically in the NFC Championship game, a la Philadelphia Eagles and San Francisco 49ers. As you see, the San Francisco 49ers, they went all in. They got McCaffrey. They have see the difference between the Niners, Eagles, Niners and Eagles and the Cowboys. Put them in the group and then the Cowboys is that the 49ers and Eagles have really good playmakers on the offensive side, going from a good running back, two wide receivers, and we'll go to Philadelphia Eagles. So they have a really good running back in Miles Sanders. I want to say he's great, but he's really good running back. Then you have two number one wide receivers, and then you have Dallas Goddard as your tight end. So it's simple because those two wide receivers, all basically three wide receivers, can create separation on their own. But with San Francisco, you have a really good running back. You got Debo Samuels, which is running back slash wide receiver slash whatever you want. He's a utility. And then you have George Kittle, that basically he's a beast. He's a top. If you want to say he's a top 5 receiver. Hold See, this is why when going live and your daughter's here, it's kind of no, I'm not finished, babe. Almost. We're almost done. Go sit over there. Almost done. See, that's what happens when you're on live and you don't got anybody to really watch your daughter. So yeah, be quiet. But yeah, so tuning like my daughter's right there. So thank you guys. See, she's there, and I know you guys are looking in the background like, damn, what happened to the Cowboys flag? It came down. Actually, I'm rearranging my little man cave, if you want to call it. So I pulled it down. I'm put it back up in a little bit, but going back to this game, like I was saying, so the Dallas Cowboys do have to go get somebody. If you're gonna stick with Tony Pollard, now the injury goes, is a fibia. How is he gonna be? They said he's gonna be ready for training camp and off season workouts, so that's a good news. But is he gonna be the same person? But if we do have Tony Pollard, we have CeeDee Lamb. I like Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is a really good tight end. We need that extra or another wide receiver to come in and spell CeeDee Lamb. I think Gallup. Yes, I get it. The injury, it takes 1 year, but he just doesn't look the same. He doesn't look the same. Really, I didn't see any plays called for T.Y. Hilton. It was it's frustrating because there's not that other person, not that other option to help out. And you saw when Tony Pollard came out of the game due to injury, they're just doubling CD. And Dalton Schultz had a bad game, and it was bad where he was dropping balls. I mean, coming into the game at the end of the game and he couldn't even get 2 feet in. I don't know if that would have made a difference. Maybe a long hail mary, but yeah, it does suck. Um, I want to do. It's going to be a long off season. Um, Again, they have to do something like, where the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers went all in. They're paying their people. Wait, Stella. They're paying their people to play. They're paying their people. They're getting people in positions of need. So I do think that Jerry Jones needs to spend some money this offseason. Um, and maybe hitting on some draft picks. I know Jalen Tolbert, wide receiver that we thought was going to come in and help out CeeDee Lamb. Man, he was sometimes not in the 53-man roster. He was inactive most of the season. I don't know what happened. I guess he didn't know the playbook, but damn, it took you almost a whole year and couldn't still learn the playbook. That's another thing. But I do think they need somebody else to spell CeeDee Lamb. And you'll see a difference in this offense. But again, we're going back to the people that just tuned in. We're going back to Kellen Moore needs to go. And I do think with Kellen Moore leaving and you're getting another offensive, get an offensive minded guy, creative guy. I don't even care who it is, but get somebody else in Dak's ear. And that's when you start judging to see if Dak is the one. And you give him that 1 year or 2 years under this new offensive coordinator. And if you don't see any improvement, then that's when I say, got to move on from Dak. And again, I'm a Dak supporter. I love Dak, love his story and everything. But I haven't seen the improvement in the, reading coverages, which is really disappointing. Um, because I do think if he would have read some coverages, I know that the long pass to CD Lamb that he tried to get it over Fred Warner, the linebacker. T.Y. Hilton was wide open underneath for a first down. So he went for the home run instead of reading that coverage. If the linebacker turns his hips, you go underneath. So it's crazy. And if you hear my daughter in the background, she's playing with her toys. Sorry about that. Um, but it's going to be an interesting offseason. Now, My pick to win these, I'm gonna give a pick to win these games. I do have Philly beating the Niners. I just do think that Philadelphia will end up throwing deep. I think the Niners, what the Niners struggle on is the deep pass. When you saw them play, Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, they were getting beat on a deep pass. Philly does a great job with both of their elite wide receivers on getting them matched up and taking a deep shot. They have an excellent offensive line. Their run schemes are very, very well. You're gonna have to worry about Jalen Hurts as a runner also. So I do think that the Brock Purdy experiment now, and again, don't give me this Brock Purdy, Brock Brock Cock, whatever you want to say. He didn't win that game, bro. Like he made some okay passes, but he should have lost that game with if Trayvon Diggs catches that interception. So I think the Brock Purdy experiment is done and over with this upcoming week. I do think that Philadelphia Eagles will win. And then going to the AFC side, I do have I do have Kansas City losing to the Bengals. It's Joe Shiesty, bro. This guy, you talking about reading coverages? This guy showed you in LSU that he knew how to read coverage, and he's brought it to the NFL, and he's made the AFC Championship with the past 3 years or 2 years, whatever the case may be. He's going up to against Mahomes again, and I think he just owns Mahomes. Like I think with the turning point of that series, and with Mahomes and Burrow, that turning point where I'm picking the Bengals is because that injury to Mahomes on how, which again, a dirty play where this guy comes straight down on Mahomes, doesn't even look to tackle him. That Jaguars player went straight into his leg. If you don't think that's a dirty play, I think it is because right after, I forgot the backup quarterback's name for Kansas City. He's in there. The same exact player that got Mahomes injured, he goes straight after headhunting this guy and almost takes him out. He got a personal foul, 15 yards, but you could see in his face like, yeah, whatever. I'm trying to win this game. Stella, stop. You're too loud. And you could see that he was doing it on purpose. So the turning point where I'm giving the Bengals the credit is because Mahomes' injury. Now Mahomes can't roll out of the pocket. Now they're showing him he's doing a lot better, but it's not the same, bro. Like he's not going to be the same. Scrambling. He's probably going to get one hit on that ankle, and he's going to feel that pain all over again. So he doesn't have the proper time to heal. So I do think that the Bengals going to win it, and your Super Bowl is going to be Bengals versus Eagles. Now, for the Super Bowl, I'm going for Bengals because I can't stand the Eagles. I respect the Eagles, unlike other people. Eagles fans don't respect Cowboys or whatever the case may be. Some Eagle fans, um, but I do credit the Eagles and their organization because they went all in. They got the people they needed to help Jalen Hurts, to help that defense, and look where they're at right now. One game away from the Super Bowl. I'm just hoping the Dallas Cowboys can do the same. That's all I'm hoping for. So Jerry Jones, you need to do something this offseason and help out the Dallas Cowboys franchise and get them over the top and spend some money, rework some contracts, spend some money. Yes, Zeke says he'll take a pay cut, but I don't know if you want Zeke, because the loyalty, they're gonna start him and then he's gonna get a 2 yard run and this and that. It's gonna put you behind change, and then we're gonna bring in Tony Pollard. Once we start with fire, bring in Tony Pollard. Um, the draft, I'm gonna have the boys, and I'm gonna set up a time where I can have the boys on this draft where I can tell you what I would like to see for the Dallas Cowboys, the draft pick. We're gonna have JC here to see who he wants the Dolphins to draft, and we go from there. Like, and it's gonna be an interesting offseason for the Miami Dolphins also. Um, but yeah, this is my rant. I know you guys, some of you guys, text me, making fun of me, calling me, whatever the case may be on social media. Hey, look, ain't nothing new, bro. I was prepared for both emotions. I was hoping for the good emotion, but I got the letdown emotion, the sad emotion, and I'm used to it. It's again 25 plus years being a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I'm used to this used to these emotions. So, um, thank you for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to check us out on all major pod platforms: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on every platform. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.